the BLERD official podcast. Welcome to the show. Me and my half-ass voice are here. Yes, guys, I wish you guys were here like 5-10 minutes ago, because it's always, we come on talking, you know what? And then we have to clean it up, get ourselves together. And we are so excited. I know it's been a new year for a while, but Happy New Year. This is our first show in the new year. We want to welcome you to the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. We are super excited to have you here. Let me introduce my co-host, Hilton George. How are you doing?
Oh, man. Listen, it's a new year. I got some new presents. I done put in my court-appointed time with my relatives.
Not court-appointed.
That part.
Gotta love them, but you know what? There's a difference between a family trip and a vacation.
Right? You come back tired as hell, don't you?
Oh, man. They wear me out. Boy, I tell you what, man. Listen,
love them to death.
Them condoms go on sale after this. They'll be like, I got to
no kids.
Go to Costco.
Is that why you were unmarried with no kids? That's all I want to know.
Right now.
We'd have figured out why Hilton stays single. I thought it's because he was a cad. I thought because because Hilton got a lot of women, women like Hilton. You go to BLERDCon. Boy, they know who owns that show.
Look here.
They want to talk to you.
They're trying to get on. They're trying to get their panels and stuff. They don't want to do me.
They want panels. They want free tickets.
That's you talking to Karan Ashley.
They want that dinner at the food truck.
Listen, the dirty looks I got. I was like, I just know the brother. We just host the show together. Like
like it was literally like I would see chicks and I'd be talking to you and I'm like, that's my homie. Like I'm married. Like I am the most married person in the whole room. Yeah. And it's like, this is my homie. Oh my gosh. Let me introduce Christi Renee. Christi Renee, how are you? How is life? She is coming in with that smile and that red lips.
I'm sparkling, honey. Yes, my signature red lip. I've got
Johnny Gill said, put on your red dress. She said, I'm going to put on my red lips.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm here. I am so happy to have made it to a new year. I wish everyone pure abundance and blessings and all the good stuff. It's time to go get it. It is time to go get it. We getting it. I missed you guys. I can't wait to I'm ready for our season when we get to see each other in person.
Right. So, we get a budget and we all are in the same studio. Yeah. And we just spend 6 weeks together.
We fly in and do 4 episodes and
and then fly out and then the next week we come back. That is possible. All things are possible.
It's coming.
Spirit Airlines.
It's coming.
Again,
I'm done. I'm done talking to Hilton already. We just started the new year.
No,
we might not make it.
Spirit is I'm surprised Spirit wasn't the airline where the window blew out. You know what I'm saying? Gosh, did you guys see that? No. That was literally the nightmare of all nightmares. And the video that showed people were so calm. Just this last week, Alaska Airlines, they took at a window, the door, it blew out. And luckily, thank God, they had just taken off, because if they were already, in cruising altitude and that would have happened, people would have died. It was so bad. Since then, Boeing has come to the table. They have apologized. They said mistakes have been made. But the scary part is Alaska Airlines and United Airlines both have these Boeing, these type of planes, and they both have found loose screws in planes.
Talk about a loose screw.
Talk about it, right? Scary.
It's both loose, you screwed.
You know?
You know what?
Yes.
It's too early in the year for that foolishness.
No, they need all the foolishness. They need it all.
You know whose doors don't blow off? Amtrak.
They don't.
No,
they
don't.
But they do derail.
Hang out the window on Amtrak, ain't nothing going.
They do derail. They derail.
You know what I will say? I've been on an Amtrak and they're beautiful, and those are nice for short trips. For me, I'm a little bit more bougie, and
he likes
I need to get there in a few hours. I don't want it to take all damn day. But I will say, So that was probably my worst nightmare, because I fly every week. I'm literally in a plane And I was like, these doors can fly out. This can
wait, what?
The exit row is exiting early.
You know? But what was crazy was like the video they showed, everybody seemed calm. Like, I don't know if it was like after they screamed and fainted, and like I would have been crying. Yeah. I think that's what they've released.
They put in that air.
Yeah, so I hope all those people are suing that airline and Boeing.
I need on it, and I'm suing. Emotional damage.
Listen,
emotional distress.
This is trauma, just information trauma.
I'm going to Alaska on Alaska Airlines in a few weeks.
See, no, I can't. I'm so devastated right now.
Right.
You know, let me go ahead on and use my Amtrak app.
Right.
Rebook me. We're gonna get you on Amtrak.
Okay.
We're not losing our sister to explosive decompression.
I will be there in a week. I will see y'all when I see you. Okay.
Oh my God.
But needless to say, I think it's probably the safest time to fly right now, because everybody's probably checking every single thing on those planes, which probably doesn't get checked. So do you guys like my new smoker's voice? Like, it's been, 2023, I'm up to 3 packs a day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I sound that way.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, I sound like I've just been like smoking tailpipes or something. I have no idea.
You recovering from?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I got the flu. Thanksgiving, me and like half of my family, we were just like laid up. Like, we were like, what the hell is wrong with us? Why are we all sleeping? Like, I was there for a week and we all were like sleeping most of the time. And I literally had to go to the doctor 3 times before I was finally diagnosed with the flu. So when they do those tests, when they do those tests in the office, tell them to send one of the tests off, because what happens in the office, it's a quicker test. So they were like, we'll send one of the samples away. And when they finally did, I literally was done. I mean, I was checked for COVID, checked for RSV, checked for bronchitis, checked for flu, checked for everything. And finally it came back that I had the flu. So, okay, that's cool. I can deal with it. Lost my voice. This is Thanksgiving. We're middle of January. I still have no voice. I've gone to four different doctors. I've drank lemon tea. I've had ginger root. I've had every single home remedy. And it's hilarious, because when this happens to you, every person you run into they'll be like, I mean, you can be at you need to try Target, and they'll be like, I had that, and you should drink this tea. You should pour Clorox down your throat. Like, it's like everybody has literally, and I'm looking at them like, guys, do you think I have not tried everything? I've tried everything. So we got a doctor's appointment next week, and we will hopefully see. But what I've experienced also, and I'm pissed at, was that when I was asking for strong, because now I don't have a cough. I cough a little, but not like, it was a brutal cough. So guys, get your flu shots, get your COVID shots. They were talking about it being so bad. It is that bad.
I thought you got your flu shots when I got mine. Remember, I told you I got my flu and my COVID at the same time.
I set the appointment and I accidentally missed it. Oh, and so then I had to go to a con, and I was like, I'll get it when I get back. And then I came.
You got it.
So I got it. And guys, this flu was the worst flu ever. So take care of yourselves. Get vaccinated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta wait now. I think it's like 60 more days, and I can get COVID and flu shots and all that
remedy
stuff.
Right here.
Right.
Just in case it's coming through the electronics.
I know, right?
Look at it. In case you get there. I am no longer contagious. I'm not contagious.
Well, it's funny, because I talked to somebody on the phone a few weeks ago that had the flu, and 2 days later I got the flu. And I was like, it came through the phone. I don't care what anybody says. Like, something was transmitted. But I had a very quick one. It was probably like a 48-hour bug, but then of course it's left over. So I still, even to this day, I have this a little bit of nagging cough that'll just kind of pop up. It's just, it's nothing to play with.
Those are the things they talk about when they say have these long COVID symptoms or long-term flu symptoms. These are the things that you deal with. Like, this stuff is real, and people who like try to debunk it or try to like act like it's our imagination. You go on any airplane, everything, you hear people coughing, and they're just all around you.
Rolling, ready to fall into my.
I literally, I wore a mask because I had to travel and do stuff, and I had like 2 masks on. But it's just crazy. So
well, we want you to feel better. And again,
I don't smoke cigarettes, for the record.
Right.
But I was like, one of my like really big like voiceover friends, he always sends me auditions, and I literally called him and was like, I can't audition. He goes, why? And I go, do you hear me? He goes, oh. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, that's kind of cool. And I go, I don't know if I'm gonna have like this is like when I first got,
temporary.
I was like, next week I'm gonna hopefully be fine. And like literally I called him and I said I could have auditioned. This could have worked. Like this could have been just for a short stint, but yeah.
You can do the voiceover for Optimus Prime. You can do
oh my God.
Right.
Roll out.
I know.
Perfect.
My singing career, I am carrying all the low notes.
Yes, you hit the low note.
Yeah,
find your note.
Find your note. So, guys, there've been so many things happening. Like we haven't talked in a while, and there's so many things that we should unpack. Yeah, it's just one of those situations where it's been very interesting, and I wanted to get this take. I know this happened weeks ago, but I wanted to get our take on the record because we were all huge fans. We are huge fans of Jonathan Majors and his acting career. And then this whole debacle with, the woman he was dating, and so much was revealed in, this trial. And it was just every day I was like, what the, like it was
sending me stuff. She like I'm like
we were, and I mean, and he obviously resulted in he was convicted of assault, and like within hours, Marvel cut him from the Marvel universe. He was fired, and the thing that was I think because of all the evidence we saw video of obviously she had injuries. We saw video of, obviously after the event, she was at a club or something. So there was a video of her at this club. We saw video of her chasing him in the streets of New York. This was in the midst of the altercation. We never saw anything where he hit her. There was the driver who said he did not hit her. She hit him, and he, fought to, restrain her.
Get her off. Yeah.
Yeah. Like pushed her off of him and like just basically stopped her. But what happened when Marvel fired him, there was so many people who were pissed that he had gotten fired because, I mean, obviously he made a big mistake. This woman, it was a volatile, crazy relationship.
Right.
We heard voice messages where he was like, I need you to be Coretta Scott King and I need you to be Michelle Obama. And I was like, okay, he's asking a white woman to do this. Never mind. It was all bizarre. But I think the reason that there was such a backlash and such a reaction was that we never got proof that he should have been convicted of assault. We know that this was a crazy relationship. I don't know. Yeah. But I want you guys to give me your feedback. I'll hold my feedback, but I want to hear what you got to say. Because it was like every day we were in our chat, our BOP chat, like, ooh, like it was like we were agreed.
Yeah. We were agonizing because it was so much that was not revealed. And then what revealed didn't reveal anything. And evidence would point in one direction, and then it would point in another. It was like family drama almost, where you got a relative who's in this abusive or a toxic relationship.
Yes.
And it seemed like the violence or the injury or the kerfuffle or whatever you want to call it that precipitated all this was a byproduct of a larger toxic situation between two people who got this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp dynamic every turn you see, where they just like, why are y'all even together? Like, who are you with that's got you talking like this? Like, where is your mom? Like, what is going on? Right. And the thing that stood out to me, and I've heard this from people in the legal community and others, so this is just not my opinion, that had it not been Jonathan Majors and a black man of that profile, this would have never gone anywhere near court. Like there wouldn't have been a prosecution. This would have been something that would have been filed away, and it would have been some citations or restraining orders and all this sort of stuff, because what he got convicted of was misdemeanor assault, which means that it wasn't aggravated assault where I was in a fight with you and I meant to hurt you and I did.
Right.
It was
intent.
right. The intent was like not determined. It's like if I were to fall and accidentally hit Christi on my way down and cut her face or something like that, you know, horrible scenario, didn't mean to hurt her. Like that's what misdemeanor assault is. You can get that. And so like this whole context of domestic abuse and you know, misogyny and woman beating and all the stuff that was originally a part of the narrative wasn't borne out in the conviction. And I think that Disney, where they came in, was that they were not firing him based off of solely the drama that was circulating around him. They fired him because they were trying to change directions. And you see this change in direction happening with their movies and the order of the films and the postponement of certain properties. And they had planned to write Kang out before the verdict came out. So the verdict, I don't think had anything to do with it. I think they were just waiting for an answer.
Any excuse.
Any excuse. Like... we need to see the close of this before we ultimately do what we do. And I think they were always planning to change directions. Quantumania didn't do the money.
Loki didn't do.
And, you know, so I don't think that they had the faith that he could carry the franchise in the way that they did in the beginning. That's only part of it. That just puts them on shaky ground. But then the context of all of this stuff, and you got, like I said, you got the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. You've got the what's my man from The Flash? You know, there's all this Ezra, right? You got Ezra doing all this stuff, and it hurt The Flash. And they're like, we can't have somebody leading the franchise who even has the slightest hint of anything, and he's unproven in the box office to this point. And I think that's what precipitated all of it. On a larger note, you know, I think that the brother needs therapy. I think the brother needs help. You know, I don't know if Megan's going to be the one to get it for him. I don't know if she's, you know, temporary or going to be a part of the solution. But this brother was thrust into the limelight very quickly at a young age and got power, money, and everything. And I think he was surrounded by people who did not compliment him and did not advise him and did not protect him. You know, somebody of that level. And I know there's some people who's going to get in the comments and call me shady for saying this, but people at his level should not be texting the other woman from his personal phone. Like, where's your homie? Like, come on, where's your homie at? Like, you got to protect your homie.
See how
you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you?
Move. See how his brother move. That's why he's single with no kids.
Somebody needs to be on the side.
That's another show.
You're right.
You on the wrong show.
He didn't have somebody in his corner protecting him from the bad decisions that precipitated where he was. And it showed because he didn't even have any character witnesses coming out on the press in the lead up to this saying, even if they don't know if he's guilty or not, Michael Jackson had people saying that's not the Michael Jackson I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
His didn't come out. His mommy.
And like, this is the thing, like, this is the crazy thing. Like, remember, like early on too, when it all kind of hit, his agency dropped him. And then they put out a statement saying, we didn't drop him because of these charges. We dropped him because he isn't nice to the people, like to the people here at the office. And he's not nice to us. And so him not having character witnesses or anybody, like nobody wanted to touch this.
Shut up.
Like, no, seriously.
If OJ, I'll still caping for OJ to this day. Where is your Al Cowling?
This is the new year is spiraling out of control.
And the fact that there wasn't
less than 2 weeks
is what concerned me.
Hilton is part of that.
The PR side of
he's
this,
just leaning into the spiral.
I'm just saying that the PR part of this was part of the spiral. None of these things were taken care of.
Right. Well, this is the other thing. Like, he just did another interview to kind of like, and I'm like, who is his publicist? Like, why is he talking?
R. Kelly called him and said, don't do the interview.
Disappear.
This is a bad mistake, brother.
Shut up for 1 year, Jonathan. Just go over there. Because right. Well, because this is the thing. Like it said, he wasn't accused of like I beat this woman. Like he's it came out, he was accused. I mean, he was found guilty of something, but it wasn't the charge that would just end him, right?
Right.
So then it's like, you've got to just be quiet and just go somewhere, go on an island, go to a retreat, go get therapy, do whatever you got. Go hang out with Megan and get to know her and just fall in love or whatever it is, you know. And then in a year, come talk about it. Because really, like, if people got over R. Kelly marrying Aaliyah, and that's an extreme, exactly, that face you're making, that was an extreme situation. This man married a 15-year-old, and then he disappeared for a year, and then came out and put out a hit. Like, it was like, damn. Like, if people, it's time heals a lot of wounds. Yeah,
the kind of advice you would get.
Yeah,
you need to walk out this courtroom. Yeah, get in that tinted window van and drive away.
Yeah,
and don't hit another camera. Let a light from a camera hit you for 12 months.
Yeah,
and the next time we see you, it's on Oprah, full of contrition and talking about your journey. And you're a new man and all that.
And your new movie, Christi. What are your thoughts?
Oh boy.
I know.
So y'all know, like, I'm a diehard, right?
Oh, we all are.
And I really, I mean, you know, I wanted this to go very differently, and not just because, you know, this is one of our young Black princes, who needs so much. I mean, he really does. And I think, you know, people in those positions that look like us, they do. We need a lot, because there's a lot behind the scenes or under the surface that just, you know, creeps up and rears its ugliness. And
the trauma of it all.
Yeah, he's confused clearly. And it's funny because a lot of commentary from the keyboard warriors are very much, you know, don't run to the Black woman now. And like, listen, I'm a mama, so you can always come home. You can always come home, and we need to figure out how to get you the help that you need. I think it is, when Hilton, you talk about the numbers and all of that with Marvel, like, that makes sense. If this was something that was brewing and it's just a storm, and the stars aligned for some reason in that way, where that's kind of an easy out for them. I can't knock it fully. I think it's unfortunate. And I think it's, you know, I thought that he did well. Of course, we appreciated his role and what he did. And if the numbers ain't numbering, then, you know, what can I say? It's so sensitive, because there's so many other examples of people who are the opposite of a Jonathan Majors, that have some really horrendous things happen, and they're not convicted. They're not, you know, shunned in any way. They come. Hell, Robert Downey Jr. got into massive trouble back in his earlier days, and he's a hero today.
He was given a second chance.
Exactly. So I, you know, in looking forward, I just know that we have a tendency, not only when we talk about a Black person star, for instance, there's the rest of the folk that initially incriminate and punish, you know, issue all of the wrath, right? And then we co-sign, which we need to stop. Sometimes we just got to stop a little bit, especially for somebody as young as he is. And again, it's a misdemeanor. Like, this was there. It's a questionable thing, but we know people personally who are in the worst relationships, and it's an ongoing, and we're looking at them like, what are you waiting on? Like, what is this? This is ridiculous. And they've had tussles, they've had whatever. I am not excusing bad behavior, but what I'm saying is, I feel like it's so amplified at this point because of who he is and what he looked like.
And what she looks like.
Yes, and what she looks like, and then what the next one looked like, and all of that. So we put those things, you know, just in a blender, and it's just it's disgusting, it's messy. And you're right. I wish he had been quiet. I don't think he has the best folk around him. I wish Megan had maybe done a little better and maybe forewarned him, don't do. But there's a whole thing swirling about her too. It's a lot. and it's hard. But you know, we get to a certain point. Now, I ain't never been no R. Kelly fan, so I can't reference him, but I have others that I can reference, and it's hard to stomach how we have to just now. I've got to put that down for a little while. If you're not gonna fix it, if he's not gonna fix anything, I mean, if he comes out and says, "Hey, I'm about to go get, you know, all the therapy I can muster, and I want to come back better. I want to be better. Like, I apologize for my actions. Whatever brought this, I made some bad decisions, whatever." Then I'll be rocking for him. Like, I just want him to get it together and get right, because I think he is incredibly talented. Like, I love him in Creed. I think that he's done some things that are just amazing. But I have compared him, the last time we talked about this, I compared him to what happened with Nate Parker. And unfair, we just threw him away, and he is an incredible talent, and he has also come back and tried to pour into projects that say something. And so I hope that this young brother can do, you know, I'm gonna say this and then I'm done. This wouldn't have happened if we had our Black Panther. I just feel like I wish we had our Chadwick was still with us and had some guidance.
There might have been some mentorship with a Chadwick in place at Marvel, where if you would have Chadwick, who's in the bullpen, you know, with that role, and we know, so we know it's possible. And then we get, you know, like, hey, Chadwick, you know, Jonathan's new to the game and he got attitude problems, and look, you know, just like Karan said, you know, he has been described as insufferable on set. Yeah, like his personality and his temper and his temperament and all of that. And I'm like, that's when you talk about therapy and you talk about help and you talk about, you know, ways in which you can kind of change your day-to-day behavior and your triggers and all of that sort of stuff. You know, that's where some mentorship helps. That's where, you know, somebody who comes along, like the people that surrounded him now that you see walking out the courtroom, they didn't get to him until the evidence. I didn't see anybody around him until this was very clear that he did not beat up a white woman. Like once it became clear that this was something else other than a full out domestic violence case, then you saw people like, okay, I'm gonna walk out of court with you. I'm gonna do this. But I think to Karen's point, you know, he's not a nice person to work with. And this is why you didn't see anybody coming out. And like I said, it doesn't cost you anything to get in front of the cameras and say, you know what? I don't know if the brother did it or not. I don't know the details of the case. I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent, but as this is described, that is not the Jonathan Majors I know. You can say that and it don't cost you nothing. You would never have anybody fault you for that. But he didn't even get that. His mama didn't say that. He ain't had a cousin, neighbor, nobody.
Like, think about it.
Didn't come out. Nobody had anything nice to say about him.
Like Mina Kunis and what's his name? They spoke out towards the guy that was on the 70s show that got convicted of rape. Like hardcore rape.
Like hardcore.
And they were like, we don't know, but this isn't the person that we worked with for 10 years. This is not the person I've known for the last 30 years.
You're right.
So people like it was crazy. But what I will say is, again, this is another example as a community where, you know, we come into this world with historical trauma, you know, ancestral trauma. Like, this country was built with our blood, you know? And so this is a huge example where there should be no excuse why we should not all go to therapy, all talk out our issues, because the reality is that none of this is normal. Nobody else would handle. And if he was a person who was not fun to work with, then there's problems there. If there's like, you find yourself in a situation where you're being accused of a crime that you did not do, and nobody even wants to like be like, that's my boy, I can't imagine. Like, then you know this is red flag that you need to, you know, seek some help. So hopefully he does that. And, you know, he like you said, he's very talented. A lot of people have overcome worse. So I think he still can salvage his career and still, you know, build from there.
And listen, if he don't, he can join the others that we have dismissed from, you know, dismiss their black cards. You know, it's a small collection of them. So he can just go on over there and just, I wish him well.
Well, speaking of messy, Guys, last week we were exposed and we were given the cinematic pleasure of the Shay Shay Show, featuring guest Club Shay Shay, featuring guest Katt Williams.
Yeah.
Katt Williams broke the internet, y'all.
Shut it down.
Broke it down. Because within 2 minutes, I mean, the first thing he came on wanting to right some wrongs that he felt when he went, like, he's seen other guests on this show. He'd watched their episodes and they had said some things about him, lied about him, or just misrepresented themselves.
Yes.
And he felt like, not today. Not today.
My turn. My turn.
My turn. And guys, that interview, like
2 hours, 46 minutes, and 5 seconds of nonstop Katt Williams
going in
grease on the
he
entire.
Was Rambo.
Like, he didn't drop like one nugget. This brother came on board and for 3 hours almost, just burned down Hollywood
with evidence, with opinion. Like, he literally, like, he went in on, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a very entertaining interview. But he basically had some issues with a lot of comedians. And this is the thing. The world of comedy is a very, very competitive world. I have small community, and especially Black comedy. It's even smaller. And so I've seen it. I know it, that it's very competitive. It's very cutthroat. You know, people have talked about people stealing jokes. People have talked about if you're not in this inner circle, then, you know, you may not get certain jobs, you know. And the thing is I actually have worked with a lot of the people he talked about. I know a lot of the people he talked about. And I didn't find anything, like, he didn't lie about a lot of stuff. You know, you may not have liked the way he did it. You may not have liked the way he delivered it. You may not have liked it, but it's so funny because other comedians were coming on, like, I forget, there's a ton of them. They were coming on and they were like, that's Katt. Katt will straight up, like, that's how he rolls. He will straight up say what he wants to say. There is no filter. He's just, you know, and he doesn't care. And, you know, the biggest thing was, you know, he hit the big ones. He hit Steve Harvey. He hit Cedric the Entertainer. He talked about, you know, Kevin Hart. He talked about Faison Love. He talked about, I mean, it was like everybody. Ricky Smiley. Everybody. And it was just one of those situations where, you know, I like it. Like, the one thing I was saying to people, I was like, I don't mind someone who says what they want to say to your face. Because there's so many people in this industry where they will smile in your face. And then the next thing you
drilling
know,
a hole in the back of your boat behind your back.
Exactly. And you feel it. You walk into a room and you know somebody's talking about you. You know. So it's like, here it is. This is what, you know. But what were your reactions? Because me and Hilton were posting meme after meme. Like, we were meme crazy over the Katt Williams thing. I mean, Christi was just, it was a lot.
Too much.
Hilton, what was your reaction?
Well, first off, I watched it early on. I didn't wait 2-3 days. I saw he would drop some fire, and I turned on YouTube and I just watched it from beginning to end.
You couldn't take your eyes away from it.
Couldn't take your eyes off it. And, you know, I
had an early morning flight, and I, like, literally got on the plane the next day tired because I was like, I couldn't turn it off.
Everything you said times 10. You know, we had this. Okay, so remember there was this light-skinned brother who was trying to get into the entertainment. I think it's a model who was trying to light up the industry, talking about how sexual exploitation, like, you know, I got all these execs and photographers trying to sleep with me, you know, in order for me to get in and you know, get on and get these roles and get these jobs and blah, blah, blah.
And that stuff happened.
And then everybody in the comments, me included, be like, you know, these revelations have been said before. It means nothing if you don't say the name. If you don't say the name to air these people out, you're just saying that there's this secret cabal of sexual predators in the industry, is not gonna, they don't, it didn't cost them anything.
It took 20 years for people to say Harvey Weinstein. It took so, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And like women after one, and I'm not saying,
everybody's being
criticizing. Yeah, I'm not criticizing.
Well, that is, even though you're not criticizing, that is the common critique.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that Katt Williams got up there and put names with everything he said. Names, dates, times, line for line. He is a genius, right? And this is the thing about Katt Williams. They're like, oh, well, why is he always acting crazy and all that stuff? Have you met a genius? Like a real genius, crazy. Not just like a sharp
Michael Jackson was weird.
Like somebody
Prince
who
was weird.
is on another plane. They go crazy for no reason. That ain't drugs that's got him acting out. When your brain is like at that level,
information.
You tend to have these little psychological breaks. I know tons of these kinds of people, and he's that kind of person. So him being hyper intelligent, super articulate was really helpful in him in describing what was going on.
Yeah.
And for him to go and drop all of this and drop names and you know, he dropped Weinstein's name and he dropped, you know, Said's name, and he even talked about Puffy. He talking about Puffy. He talking about Tyler Perry.
Honey, how many stories have we heard about Puff and his parties? Like, I mean,
years about this, and nobody coming all the way forward and saying it. And for him to say, like, outright, he told Puffy no. He's like, what? Like, do you hear
and
yourself?
And the sad part is, like, there has been, like, it's like one of those things where I think even Issa Rae had said, like, she was like, she's doing Rap Shit, which is a great show. Go watch it. And she said, I didn't realize the music community is worse than the Hollywood. Like, the misogyny, the like Me Too is worse. And people, a lot of times, people don't come forward because these are powerful men, powerful people, powerful entities. And so it's not like you can just say something. And it took someone like Katt Williams, who is self-made and like rich and like no matter if he's gotten a film or didn't get a film, he's still successful. He's undeniably talented. It took someone like him to air out this dirty laundry because there's nothing you can take from me because I provided all myself.
I dropped my drink and spilt it all over the floor when he said this man got on camera and said the reason why the comedian Earthquake did not blow up along with all of his contemporaries is because the Negro can't read. And I was just like, oh my God. I said, no, he didn't say that. He's like, they give him his lines and he can't read.
He couldn't read the cue cards.
And I'm like, why is Earthquake catching strays? He didn't even do nothing. You just
Earthquake's
ricocheting everywhere. Like, people ducking behind.
If there is a man or woman who was born in the last 50 years and can't read, then that's our fault as a society, like as a community, like. And he just
all failed you, Earthquake.
I think that was the thing. Fault. I think that was the thing that a lot of people who didn't like the interview, because there were as many people who liked the interview, there were a lot of people who did not like what he did, because there were people who caught strays. Like, there were a lot of people who caught strays. And it was like, we get your beef with Cedric stealing your joke. We get your beef with Ricky Smiley saying, well, that was supposed to be my part. Like, that's the most annoying actor on set, who's like constantly like pissed that they didn't get the part that you got.
And I've been in those Ocean 11 trying to get my man Bernie's role. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, no. He said Steve Harvey called the producers trying to get Bernie's
trying to get the role out from under his own man, and that's why we didn't get a second Kings of Comedy. And I'm like, y'all, it all comes together. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Karen, that just blew my mind was the internet's reaction to Hot Tea usually is to debunk whoever is blown up, because he blew up in a very positive way. Like,
that
he burned
shit
down
was
the internet.
Boiling hot from
My Comcast bill had an additional $20 on it because of that Katt Williams weight on it, you know. But the internet, undefeated internet, went in, and all I'm seeing is split screens of stolen jokes. People in places doing stuff and saying stuff,
right?
Outside testimony of other people who are there. You got Ice Cube verifying stories, and I'm sitting there like, the internet is coming in and proving this man right. The only thing he said that I think anybody would say was incorrect, even mildly, was the fact that he said he reads 3,000 books a year.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Other than that, They got this brother sprinting doing a 4.71. I'm like,
he did.
What is going on?
He really could do it.
57 years old, sprinting across the floor. Like,
the boy was fast.
Listen,
like my husband even said that. My husband was like, there ain't no way Katt Williams at 52 years old still doing a 4.4. And then we see the video of him doing it. I was like, and I sent it to my husband. He was like, well, hot damn. Well, like he was like, well, fuck.
Look,
like
his form was fucked up. Did you see
it? Terrible.
Oh my
it was
God.
like that hood
I
running.
He was gonna snap his own spine, but
he done ran from the Crips.
He was gone.
From the Bloods and the Crips. He like with a baby on it. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Listen,
Christi.
For that man to be 98% right, to drop that much hot grease.
Right, 98. That's
well, because you know,
this
is the
that's
thing.
an A+.
That is.
Anytime someone airs dirty laundry this heavy, you always go, there's the truth, your side and his side, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. But it literally, like, they basically put everything out and said, this dude's telling the truth. Like, yeah, I mean, seriously.
I mean, if we did the Venn diagram of just even the stat that that Hilton just gave with 98%, like you got all the stories.
Always room for error. There's always a little room for error.
And then you've got all of what he said. Like the truth is in the center, and it's a really large space. It's a large section of it. Listen, let me start by saying, for about 10 years now, maybe, whenever he first came on the scene, longer than 10 years, I, from day one, have said, that's my alter ego. What Katt Williams does on a stage and in a film, like to this day, First Friday, like First Sunday, if you don't know, I feel sorry for you. These are movies that were not big blockbusters, but he is iconic. What he did with Magic Mike, whatever, Money Mike.
Money
look,
Mike.
I have always said that's one of my alter egos. That's an inside voice I have tucked away on and I need to put, or that mentality, what he does. He is hands down one of my top absolute favorite comedians, and period. That's it. And guess what? After all of this, none of that has changed. He is still one of my favorite individuals. He gave so much. Like, I knew how to filter out what was a little extra. Like, I glazed over the whole, I read 3,000 books as a child. I didn't even care at that point, because I'm like, you sat down and fucked up all of Shannon's plans. Shannon was sitting there with the cue card, and the cue cards are pretty, y'all.
All he could do was slap the cue cards down on the ground. He was just kept slapping them on the chair
and looking around like, I don't
all
even know.
Do.
Yeah, let's pour it up again. Yeah, I need some more, because I just need to, it was incredible. It was incredible. And again, the whole point of being there was, I got some shit to clear up. This is enough is enough. He says a new year, and but it's not a new him. But now he's going to come on this platform that other people have utilized, almost like it's such an insult to his character, well, and his positioning. It's an insult to think you can come on here with Shannon Sharpe and Kiki and Boo Poo, but like Katt's not going to be invited, or he doesn't have the platform to even come on here because you don't see him today. Now he's on tour right now, which I think is fantastic. Come to New York, please, because I got to see him live at some point. But to do that, he says, one of his quotes, I had to write this down because I knew we was going to talk about. He said, the truth don't need motivation. So when they kept asking the question of what motivates you to do, it's the truth. He's on the side of truth. And again, his truth was, let me respond to the bull that people have put out about me. He said, and it was hurtful. I kind of teared up a little bit when he started to talk about how he was on drugs and he was this, that, and the third, and everybody's got jokes about it. But you're supposed to be my people, and you want me to stay down with you. He hit him. I got the top 10 quotes.
It was like 35. Like, if you got it down to 10, I'm like, I mean, literally, the
t-shirt logos will abound.
He also said, one of the things he said was to be, and these are things that we could actually take, I felt like were real lessons. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. I mean, it's a word. It's a word. But now when he talked, I think I almost split something when he started when he started talking about Steve Harvey in that wig, and I immediately thought of Karan Ashley. Lord have mercy.
Why me?
I know.
Why?
I don't. You know why? You know
Because I
why?
was on the show.
Because I wanted to say, did you see him take it off? He said, and then he get
No.
his high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit.
You know what? He had that lace laid before anybody else had the lace laid. Like, come on now. Him and Michael Jackson laid the lace way before women were laying lace. Like they had,
another one he said, I got two more. Another one he said, winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. Let's just
that one stung because
let that sit.
That one stung. Yeah. That one like
bars.
Yeah. Like that one stung the whole community. And
it did.
And he really reiterated where he was like, you know, how do you like I think his biggest thing was that a lot of comedians, once they reach a certain level, they stop being comedians and they stop going to clubs, they stop working out their stuff. They just get these movie scripts and they go, okay, be funny. And they just turn it on. And whatever their idea of turning it on and being funny is what they're now doing. So you're not, now you're an actor who's funny. You're not a comedian. Because a comedian is in the club, working out the kinks, they're working out the stories, they're working out the jokes, and I admire him for that.
To your point, that the line that he was talking about, that line of information where he said, look, there were 200 other people auditioning for Money Mike. And I know for a fact that I'm funnier than every one of them because they were all on Comic View. And you can sit there and if you say that you're funnier because you get more laughs, I can watch your set, count the laughs. And then I went to the studio and was like, look, mathematically speaking, I'm funnier than all these other people. Look at the number of laughs that I got in my 10-minute, 15-minute set than all these other people that you got lined up. And I'm just sitting there like, I ain't never thought about breaking down no comedy show into how many laughs.
Science.
But real writers do that. They're going to, they're going to pick apart. Yes, it is a science.
And you got to give it up to him because when he was given the opportunity to be an actor, he didn't take it lightly. Like he was like, I've got to do the work. And the work requires me to do, like, and he said they had rehearsals, but then we had to have rehearsals. Like we had to figure out how to do this. And, you know, and even Ice Cube, you know, he co-signed. He said, you know, we would get what we wanted and then we would let him go. Because the reality is he was giving us so much that we would have been dumb not to take it. I'm paraphrasing. But it's like, they, you know, and most comedians do that. I went to a live taping of the Jamie Foxx show. And literally, it was like my respect for Jamie Foxx was, you know, I thought he was always funny. I loved him on In Living Color. But when I saw him tape this show, I was floored because literally he would do the take that they were scripted, but then they would do these multiple takes and he would still do what he need, but he would ad lib and add and literally he would probably get 3 takes because they had to move it along because they're in front of a studio audience. He would change it up every single time and the laugh would be on this beat, then the laugh would be on that beat, then the laugh, like it was like the cast had a hard time. They would just follow because they were literally chasing him around because it was like he was just moving.
And notice, but it was that's not a name that Katt Williams had anything to say about.
He didn't have anything to say about him. Nope. He didn't have anything to say about D.L. Hughley either. He said good things in the gloves. Yeah.
And Martin Lawrence. Think about Martin Lawrence too. He appreciates those. That's another one that is like in that.
He just was upset that when he got asked to do a film with him, he was like, "Don't put me in a dress." Like he obviously has an issue about wearing a dress.
Yeah. You know, first thing they did.
Yeah, they wanted to be Big Mama, and he was like, "Why I got to do that?" Like, but you know, and that's preference. You know,
yeah, that's your preference.
But say your last thing that you got, because I hope it's the line that I love.
You know it is. This is the one we putting on shirts, we putting on bumper stickers.
It's my motto. It's my motto for 2024.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
It's not like you. Y'all, that's when I fell out my bed because it was the middle of the night.
It was
he shut Shannon Sharpe down.
It was the sip. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a drink and then he like,
brother, why are you caping for these people? You don't know these people. These not your friends. Like why are you, what are you doing?
And again, they are your friends. You know that the things that they're saying are outlandish.
And like, again, broke it down scientifically again. I'm sorry. I just real quickly, right in that moment, he told Shannon about football. When you get on the line, do you like to even
I'm gonna break it down in the way you
way. Let me
lined up on the table in front of him just to demonstrate
and look them eye to eye, 5'2".
Like you don't all of the 5'2". He was 10-4 that day.
Yeah,
I have to say, because I thought this would be one of the quotes, but the one that stood out to me the most, more philosophical, and I'd never heard it before. And I'm not even religious, but I got to say it. You know, it's like Satan cannot create anything, right?
Ooh.
Including blessings for his people. And it is like, oh my God, like just to have that floating around in your head, going through this life.
Yeah.
Like the devil can't make nothing. Yeah. The devil can't
create anything, including blessings for his people. And the fact that is one of your informing philosophies in just the way you go about your day to day, just kind of let me know exactly why he was there, exactly why he was saying what he was saying, and
exactly why all those people have been quiet, except for like Ricky Smiley
and everybody who said something is implicating themselves even more in their responses than exonerating themselves, because they're not even denying that the situation. The fact that Ludacris didn't deny that it came down to the two of them, and the studio said, we're going to make 20 movies, $200 million contract for the first one of y'all to shave their head. You can't wear the sideburns no more cold teeth, none of that. First one of y'all to do it gets the deal. I said no. Which Fast and Furious we on right now? And the fact that Ludacris came on and didn't say that didn't happen.
Just a diss track. Just evasion.
Started rapping like
tax evasion.
Yeah.
Katt is the tax man. Katt is the tax man. He coming.
Like I would have just like, I have to admire like the people who've just stayed quiet and like, I'm not even like, they're just like, just let it go. Cause it's like when the truth is the truth and the truth. And, you know, and it was delivered in such a way, you know, and it hurts, but it's like, just let it go. Because obviously he said like me, Steve, Cedric, we had a talk. They apologized for that. They like I let it go then because they apologized and we moved forward. But then he comes on this show and it's like the math ain't mathing. And it was like, what? Now I got to shut you down. So it was so like, if you haven't seen it, like,
please watch it.
Shannon Sharpe. I will give Shannon Sharpe this though, because when you have a guest like that and you're interviewing someone and he just goes, and Shannon Sharpe for the first 15 minutes was like he couldn't even say anything.
He was trying
to catch the ball. He was running.
He couldn't. He like at one point he just sat there and was just doing this.
Yeah.
But
because it was getting good. It was getting good. Well,
and he just had to, like, you have to know someone like that has to let it out. But then he was able to go, okay, let's talk about your childhood. Yeah. And he brought him all the way down. And all like his like this up came all the way down. And then they started having a conversation. And he led him through a conversation. And it explains so much. Like it explains so much about Katt, why he's this way, the childhood he had, the daddy he had, the mama he had, you know.
I didn't know any.
I didn't know any of that.
I'm like 13 years old, and you in Florida working the streets with crackheads and prostitutes, and not even in the comedy era. You know, just like and talking about like seeing, you know, people who are strung out on drugs as like, that's all the warning I need.
Yeah, that was
you ain't never seen me do a drug. I already know what that has. What about that is attractive to me? And so I that was really revelatory. And yes, Shannon Sharpe was the venue to have that on, so he couldn't have done that on The View. I can't think of any other venue where he would have been able to do it.
There's no other podcast.
And be given the space to do it. And they were like, oh, he should have gone on Nori. Like, Nori talks over everybody. Like, he's not even listening to what you have to say.
Yeah,
and he's got all these bottles of liquor between you and him, and it's like,
and there's like they're smoking, and it's like,
and there's three other people in the room
and you want to have and I know when people smoke, they're like, oh, I'm so clear. I'm so like, my brain works in a whole nother.
Not always.
And probably it does, but it's like, it's also a foggy perception. Like, it's like, it was like man to man. And then what was funny was Shannon tried to say in the beginning, like he'd come, like, you know, he'd already had a couple drinks, and Katt was like, I ain't had more than you've had. We've had about the same. Like, he was like, don't even start that.
Like, don't do it, because I'm coming.
I don't need anything to fuel I don't need anything to fuel this.
Can I say something that I think kind of, as we're talking, stands out to me is I enjoyed this probably even more because I saw all the interviews that Katt was complaining about on the Shay Shay show, Club Shay Shay. I watched Steve Harvey. I watched Cedric the Entertainer. I watched Ricky Smiley's interview with him on that show. And they were good interviews, but I know what they said. Yeah. I didn't think that they were false stories or anything. I thought they were real perspectives. So when he comes and he's rebutting it, you're kind of like, yo, like, I actually heard them say the stuff that you're saying was false, because sitting in that chair. And he said, how are you going to let these people come and sit across from you and say this stuff about me? And he's like, I didn't know they were lying. He's like, you're supposed to be, you know. And I'm sitting there like, I'm sitting in Shay Shay's. I'm in Shannon Sharp's shoes. I'm like, I didn't know they were lying. I thought that was a story.
I felt bad for him as the interviewer, because I'm like, how would he know? Like, he's like, I think I'm getting, like, he even said, I think I'm getting this like these unknown stories. I had no idea. Like, why would I question that? Like, I wouldn't imagine they'd come on here.
Streams to this minute.
I'm one of them.
He's like, Super Bowl don't get that kind of viewership.
Yeah.
And this is the long version. We ain't even talking about the add up of the clips. Them little, when you go on YouTube and they got the little 15-minute clips, there's like 6 and 10 and 15 million of those.
The full interview. Yeah.
So the full interview being at like 35 million, plus there's like 25, 30, 40 clips that are also in the millions, lets you know like how explosive this was. And it rarely happens, but I think it has context, Karen. I think there's a context here, because the Epstein list came out around the same time. The Diddy affidavit was only about 2 weeks old, you know, being public domain and being out there. And then Katt comes on, and you got this triple threat of him. He's talking about Diddy, he's talking about Epstein, he's talking about Weinstein, he's talking about TD Jakes. And we're like seeing this continuum of all this, like, wait, Diddy is on this list, TD's on that list. And we're seeing all this cross-referencing of stuff that we're already observing. And 2024 is going to be the call-out year. I feel like all that has been hidden is going to come out. I need to look. Everybody need to check everybody's receipts, because the legal documentation is out there, and everybody getting blown up.
It is,
and it's January 11th.
Yeah.
Right. We ain't even in it good.
It ain't even half the month. It ain't even. This is week 1.
I feel like it's March. This is March level of tea.
That excites me, because the reality is 2023. It wasn't like people were like, oh, 23, like they've been like battled and bruised by 2023. It wasn't that type of year for me. Like, it wasn't a bad year. It wasn't a phenomenal year. It was just a year. Like, it was like a year, and I felt like I had some really fun times. I had some adventures. I had some soul searching moments. I had, you know, some things like with my business that we've been like working on. And but it was actually, I came out of 2023 feeling good, feeling excited, and like going, okay, 2024 is this was the prep for me to conquer, you know, hopefully. But yeah, it was like, if 2024 is anything like what we've gotten in these 11 days.
And this is an election year. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
this is an election year we get ready to go into. And if people are on this tip,
and it's looking a mess. It's
like my nerves is already bad. Like, I got an ulcer already.
Oh,
just from this election nonsense.
I'm not looking forward.
But listen, can I say this though?
Yes.
Even though 2024 has been, it's been a lot coming out, a lot going on, and all of that. I just don't view that interview as the dark side. Like, I was enlightened. I felt good.
Oh no, I feel like it was a net positive.
I was like, that's the fire. That's the fire. That's what we doing for 2024. That's for moving forward. This is setting the tone. You're gonna set records straight. You're gonna be, now this is what it is.
It was cleansing. It felt cleansing.
Yeah, it did.
Like, I felt like I was combing through my hair. That first run with a comb got all those little pops and snaps, going through. But then you come back through the second time and it's
like, and it feels good. And you're like, ooh, that felt good on my scalp.
That one a couple more times.
You felt free.
I felt like that after. I felt free.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like you think about the people who, if you've ever been in situations where it's like there's this misinterpretation of you and your brand and your voice and your presence. And it's like, oh, if you get the opportunity, if you just want, but that's the energy, that's that frequency that I was like, okay, that's at the bar right there. This is saying you can do that. You can do that and still go on tour and do well. Listen, and I'm rooting for him.
I bet he had the ad shows because there's no way in the world he didn't sell out the tour that came the week after.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait, I didn't even know he was on tour. I was like, wait a minute, because he never said it in the interview that he's on tour and here we're gonna be.
See, isn't that important?
That's how he moves.
He wasn't even
using how he moves.
And I was like, oh, this brother about to be doing a multi-city
tour. This
tour.
was not a public. It's like you don't have to come on here and do no plugs and none of that. I'm coming here for, this is my purpose. This is the point. You're going to learn me and you're going to learn the truth about some things.
Well, and that's the other thing that he said. Like, he goes, I don't come to do that. Like, my talent speaks for itself.
Yes.
I don't have to come and pitch and be like a car sale, or you know what I'm saying? Like, get the ticket. Like, he's like, I don't have to do that because I have put in the work, and they know every show they get from me is different. So if you saw me in Minneapolis and now you're seeing me in Los Angeles, and you're going to get something different. So yeah, it's, I thought a lot of people were like, oh, he's going to lose. He's going to blacklist himself. I was like, no, he's on fire.
He is the list.
I was like,
he's his own list.
He write the list.
Anytime you're a guest on a show and it got 35 million views, trust me, Hollywood is calling. They're like, okay, what projects did you want to get greenlit this year, sir?
He could do a whole comedy
Shannon
show.
Sharp needs to thank him.
Saying word for word what he said in the Shannon Sharp interview. And it would be just as funny. It would be just as entertaining as any comedy. It's probably, it was off the cuff. It wasn't scripted like he wrote jokes, but it was actually some of his, to Christi's term, it was his best bars of any of the shows I've ever seen him. He was at his best. He was sober. He was articulate. There was no question about where his head, he was clear-headed. He was, you understood what he was saying, the context. And you're just like, how, if he had made a comedy bit, a whole show about this, he couldn't have written it better than what he did.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
It's like no better documentary of his life. Like, he just took you from the beginning to now. You know, like, Shannon Sharp needs to like buy him a house or something, because like, literally when your podcast gets this kind of push, like, all the companies are probably calling Shannon Sharp going, if you're hosting these type of interviews that get this, like, that got this kind of numbers, he's gonna get the, you know, a different chance and different platforms and whatever algorithms they feed into the Rogan dude. Like, you know, Shannon Sharp's he's gonna get some attention that probably he's not gotten. His show has not gotten, that he's been fighting to get.
And one thing we haven't said is that Shannon Sharp is actually a good interviewer.
Oh yeah,
like he creates an environment, and
he's not new.
And Katt said this. Katt was like, "This is a place that I deem is a safe space for truth telling, and that's why I'm here." And he was saying it while it was running. He was like, "Oh, don't worry about your numbers. Once I deem you as a place for truth telling, you gonna blow up." And that's how he started talking. And Shay was like, "All right, I'm gonna let you run." And now we see the result. So I think it was the right place, the right time. I think he is, like you said, his career is going to go off. His show is going to blow up. He's going to be in a whole new level because he didn't get steamrolled. He did get out of the interview everything that Katt put in. He was a part of it, and not just didn't get run over. So I'm looking forward to what his show's going to do next. You know, what his next step is, because I like the dude. I think he's sharp. I think he's in his next zone. And
he is in the zone. And like, let me tell you right now, like, the other thing that was really cool that came from all of this was comedian after comedian, like people you would have never expected, white, black, Latino, whatever, were coming up saying, I did a show with Katt. I didn't even know he was there. And he came up to me and was like, that was a great set, and shook my hand, and there was money. And I went back, like, and it was, and it was 5 times what I was going to get for that show. And I needed this money so bad. Like, he got it. Like this, I'm a struggling comedian, and he gives, like, he's been helping the young people, like he's been helping comedians, young, old, whatever, for years, and not wanted any kind of nothing. He just
this is why his net worth, like somebody made a post trying to make a dig against him versus Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's worth like 100 million or something like that, and Katt's worth 2. And I said, well, if he already said that in his own interview. He's like, I saw my net worth on TV once. I was like, damn, I got that on me. Like, like, how low could this be? And if he is operating in that kind of an energy where he is supporting other people and making that a priority, that happens. That happens. And so for the people to come out and say everything he said about charity and him being generous is true, and this guy he puts people on stage that open and tour for him that are funnier than him, and he lives and dies on the stage. That's real comedy for him. And to have that validation, you know, like I said, it's amazing for everything. As controversial as this was great for everybody's brand, even some of the people that call strays. You know, who talking about earthquake? Ain't nobody said nothing about earthquake in 2 years. Now people gonna be looking up earthquake. Can he not read? That's another question. But he's very funny.
He's going to be the face of literacy next year.
I know. He better be. He better, because I'll be like, that sounds like challenge. Like, challenge me. Like,
look, notice earthquake ain't said nothing. An earthquake can get on the show in 3 minutes.
He says a lot online. He says a lot online.
I have not seen
nothing. The other thing that was announced recently is Kevin Hart's ex-wife. She's on tour with Katt Williams, and people were like, "Oh!" And they were like, is that disloyal, or is that her getting the bag?" And a lot of people came to her defense and were like, "We have not seen. We didn't even know she was a comedian. We didn't even know."
I heard she's funny though.
And they said, like, her and Kevin started together, and when his career started popping off, she supported him because, you know, she was like, his is popping first. But since then, they divorced. Kevin's got another wife. He's got other kids. She said, he's never put me on. He's never helped me. It's been I think they're great together as far as parenting. But people came to her defense and were like, he ain't putting her on. So why would she turn that down? Why would she turn that down? And crazy. So it's like one of those things where I was just like, man, this interview keeps getting. It's like
I want to go
it just
see
keeps
the
giving
show
me.
now. I would not normally go to a Katt Williams show.
I love his
He's
show.
not my kind of funny to go to an actual show. But I'm hyped to actually catch this brother live if he ever comes to town. Because of, you know, one, who now I have a better understanding who he is. But I want to see all these comedians that he's been bringing up that are so funny that everybody's now talking about because their testimony is a part of the record. So I'm like, yo, let me find out.
And it just says a lot. Like, it says a lot when he was like, I like all these new cats, and started naming them. And it's like, a lot of the veteran comedians, they're not like saying that about the people coming up. Like, it's like they're just kind of in their own zone, and that's fine. Some people, that's how they work. You got, you know, I've learned in this business, you got to take people for who they are. But also with that, taking people with who they are, you can't expect for them to do something that they're not. Right. You know, and if they're not charitable, you better just enjoy whatever you get from them, you know, or whatever. If they're like, I am just building my empire, all the movies I do, I'm in them. You know, I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect people to do what they've never done.
All you can get is a photo with them. That's just what you
might be the first and the last gift you get.
You know, and you may have to pay for it. So I don't know.
And you may have to pay for it.
Hey, it is what it is, you know. It's like, but again, the Katt Williams, Shannon Sharpe, Club Shay Shay interview, watch it. It gave us life. It gave me joke on joke on joke on joke. It was all that, and then
it's
some.
not like anything I've ever seen.
Nothing.
Not any Oprah interview,
Nope.
not any MSNBC, not any presidential interview. I mean, I've never seen this kind of energy sustained. Like I said, it's almost 3 hours, and you know, Katt Williams don't stop talking. There's no dead space in this interview where, like, you know, the energy went down. It's got to come back. Where there's commercial fillers. No, 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 5 seconds.
It's beautiful. I'm sorry. Listen, we need to send him, you know, this segment of the show, and because we're all in 3 major cities. This would be a great opportunity. We need to get like a behind the scenes, you know, some access. We need some, we need, you know, get us some phrases and some sound bites.
All I know is
come on the show, Katt.
Right.
Or do that.
You ain't got to come to this. Look, we pipe you right in from wherever you at.
Wherever you are.
Yeah.
Guys, that's the end of the episode. Oh my gosh. We had some other stuff we were going to talk about, but we used all the time on Katt Williams as he deserved.
2 hours, and 46 minutes, and 5 seconds for the show.
I can't even talk that long. I'm exhausted.
You will lie.
You will lie, Christy. You have talked that long and
some. I'm a fat face online. I'm a fat face online.
Oh no. See, that was one of the things I was like, Katt, come on, Katt.
He said, boy, that was funny to me.
Ooh,
it was funny, but it's like
we can't even say bye because of Katt.
You know, that part, I was like, he went in, but there was some things. Like I will say, there was some things when he went in. Okay, we were good, but then he was like, and then he just. I was like, why you gotta turn the knife?
He said Netflix special is easy to get. Where's yours?
Where's yours?
Like, oh.
See that now we have to come back and do another show where it's just all of.
We need to break it down like.
We need a reaction video. We got to do like we just watch and just clutch our pearls for 2 hours, 46 minutes,
and fall out of our chairs and roll on the ground and die and then come back to life. Like, I mean, damn. Yeah, when he said, "Where is your Netflix?" If they're easy to get,
where?
Damn,
because I'm still watching his. I still got so many famous lines from his that it's just it's everything. His stand-ups are. I'm telling you, I holler. I don't care what nobody say. And
hopefully.
I love
we can all be in the same city and we can all go together and just get our life. Get our life. Oh my gosh.
I will fly Spirit Airlines for that, Karen. I will look, and I'll make sure they stay at about 300 feet. So if the door blow off, we don't.
Yeah, don't sit next to that door. Ain't nobody gonna want that seat now.
Okay, now I'm traumatized again. I was feeling good. Y'all got me.
Ain't nobody sitting in that seat. Like, but that's the thing. Going back to this Boeing thing, like the Boeing man was like, I don't know why there wasn't someone sitting in that seat. And he got visibly like tears. Like he was just like shook by the thought if someone would have been sitting there, the thought of it. Like, you know, So, but you know what? I appreciate a CEO going on national TV and being all the way real about something that should not have happened to the people that were on that plane. And let's shout out to the crew. They got everybody off that plane once it landed. Shout out to the pilot who landed a plane where like something horrific like this happened. Like the calm you have to be like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if there's that much calm in my life where I could be calm within this type of this type of thing. Like you don't know what, like, oh, that's just awful. God bless all those people, all of them. Anyways, guys, tune in next week. We are going to review Echo because it's out. It's on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Guys, it is amazing. I just look at it this way. If you have not watched it, it's like a 5-hour movie.
Yep.
And it unfolds beautifully. And shout out to Marvel for just showing up on the Native American culture. And involving,
so nice.
You know, the Choctaw, Oklahoma, their tribe, involving them in this. Like they don't make something and go, okay, we're gonna make something and not involve the people and the culture that it
is not whitewashed. That's for sure. They don't do that. They do not do that.
Can't wait for that talk.
I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio's in it. I mean, It's crazy.
Yay.
Guys, next week, Echo, we're going to do a full review. I want you guys to tune in because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be amazing. We are the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. Welcome to our show if you've never watched. And if you have, welcome back. We are so excited. 2024 is our year and it's yours too. And we'll see you later. Bye. Love you, mean it.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode of the BOP, the BLERD official podcast.